Good morning. Today on Spotlight, an update of Michigan's infrastructure projects, and are we getting our fair share of federal tax dollars back to help prepare us for the future? We'll ask Zachary Kolodin, Michigan Chief Infrastructure Officer. We'll also talk to Attorney John E. Johnson Jr., Director of the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. His budget has increased significantly. What does he plan to do with the additional funds? We'll ask him. It's Sunday, October the 8th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. Mr. Kolodin, thanks for joining us today on Spotlight. You're doing okay?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Good. It's a pleasure having you. Okay, you get to worry about all the infrastructure in this state and all the various projects. I recently saw a report that we're doing pretty good in terms of getting those federal tax dollars back. How much so?
Yeah, Michigan's a leader nationally in winning federal infrastructure dollars. So a report came out recently that indicated Michigan is number 2 nationally in total infrastructure investments that help us meet our healthy climate goals. So infrastructure investments that help us decarbonize our economy. We've pulled down over $1 billion. I think the number is $1.23 billion, which is second only to California nationally.
What has been the secret to Michigan getting that money versus Indiana and some of the other states that whenever we hear the governor give one of her State of the State addresses, she talks about the competition between these Great Lakes states?
Well, I think number one, it's focus. You know, we want these dollars. The governor has been very clear that Michigan can lead the way in clean energy, and that clean energy can win us high-paying, good quality jobs. Number two, it's hustle. Just Michigan state government, our private partners, working as hard as they can to win these investments and demonstrate to the federal government that we can help them achieve their infrastructure and climate goals. And I think number three, it's the fact that Michigan is, in many ways, a center of the traditional manufacturing economy. And so we're poised to win key investments to decarbonize America because we have so much of this legacy infrastructure.
We haven't always had a Michigan Infrastructure Office, correct?
That's right.
All right, that was created by Governor Whitmer. When that was created, what was the goal?
Yeah, the goal is to maximize our share of federal funding and to make sure that it's deployed in a way that benefits Michiganders, that number one, improves daily life here in Michigan. You know, the governor recently appointed a commission to grow the population. In order to grow the population, you got to make the quality of life good. So make sure there's clean water coming out of the tap, make sure the roads are safe. So number one, to help people meet those basic needs and use federal funding to achieve that purpose. And number two, build the infrastructure to transition our economy to a clean energy future.
Top infrastructure projects for this state, what would they be?
Sure. I mean, we have infrastructure projects in roads, energy, broadband, water, right? So what your top infrastructure project is depends on what you care about, right? But the state has received over $1.5 billion to extend broadband availability to every single Michigander, right? And that means download speeds of 100 megabytes per second, upload speeds of 20. And that's something that not everybody has in rural Michigan. Not everybody even has in our urban areas. So that's the number one thing I would point to because...
And we should say there's a big emphasis through Rock Mortgage and others to get Detroit in particular up to speed on digital homes because before the last few years, we weren't doing really well, but we're doing very well now.
That's right, and we need to make sure not only that the high-speed internet is there, but that people can actually access it. So they have a device that they own capable of accessing the internet and that they have a plan to access the internet that's affordable for them. So yeah, high-speed internet is number one.
Hey, hang on one second. We got to get to a little quick break.
Oh, go ahead.
You've got a lot more that you want to tick off, and
ahead.
we're going to get to them right after this. interrupted you.
No.
I apologize, but I know you want to also talk about some of the other top projects.
Sure. So, we first spoke about broadband. That's to say nothing of our investments on roads, which the governor has prioritized since day one.
And we see a lot of orange barrels.
We do, and thank you for your patience as we fix the roads.
We're trying to be patient. We complained when the roads were in terrible shape. Now we're getting the roads fixed, and we're complaining about all the orange barrels, so I guess we can't be pleased.
That's right. So, the governor launched the Rebuilding Michigan program, which is the state's bonding program in 2019. And then we've gotten additional resources through the bipartisan infrastructure law to do even more and build on that. So projects like building a street-level boulevard, in Detroit to replace I-375, making the city of Kalamazoo more of a walkable community and reconnecting the north side to downtown. Projects even in Sault Ste. Marie. We see projects all over the state that are designed to fix roads and bridges. So I think those are really key. And then, of course, all of the clean energy investments that I referenced earlier, projects to build clean hydrogen infrastructure, projects to get new solar resources out there. The Inflation Reduction Act, which is the seminal piece of climate legislation that is driving all these investments nationally. That's what's underlying these investments in places like Big Rapids and Van Buren Township to build new battery plants. And then we see resources going to, for example, new transmission lines, which also supports the goal of building new advanced manufacturing facilities. So it all kind of comes together to support new development here in Michigan.
At some point, that money is not going to be as much as it is now. Mm-hmm. And whoever's in leadership is going to have to go to the people and say, it's time to probably raise taxes. Do you think that what people see going on now will make it an easier sell? Because one of the toughest sell to the public is saying, we need you to kick in more money, because people don't like to pay taxes.
Sure. I mean, these are federal resources, so I want to be clear that we're not talking about taking Michigan taxpayers' money and and spending it on infrastructure in this context, in the bipartisan infrastructure law, Inflation Reduction Act context.
But if you don't have a lot of that federal money coming in, then that's when they have to at times go to the state and say, I think we need folks to kick in. Do you think this makes it easier for that type of sale when a politician has to do it?
What we're doing now is building the infrastructure to transition to the future clean energy driven economy. And so, when Governor Whitmer took office, looking ahead, I think she saw infrastructure and an economy that was not built for this transition. Right. What we are building is an economy and infrastructure that are built for that transition. So that will produce a much more thriving and robust economy that generates more tax dollars because we have more business activity, more jobs, and that increase in tax dollars and what we hope is an increase in population will allow us to make the investments that we need.
Can you say how many jobs have been created through this and how much of a boost this has been to Michigan's economy?
Yeah, well, when we talk about high-paying jobs in the clean energy sector, I don't want to get the number wrong, but it's in the tens of thousands of new high-paying jobs in the clean energy sector, and we stand to gain, as an increase of as many as 250,000 jobs if we handle the clean energy transition right. So I think this is a really important point. Michigan, because of our dependence on the automotive sector, is one of the most vulnerable states in the clean energy transition, but we also have among the most to gain. And that's why we're so focused on winning these battery investments and these electric vehicle investments. The development of the automotive sector built the middle class, and we believe we can build a new middle class as we transition to a clean energy economy, an EV industry in Michigan. And that's why we're so focused on making sure these investments happen right here in Michigan.
Final question. Michigan's economy has been doing well. It's certainly something that we hear from Governor Whitmer on a pretty frequent basis. With all of this going on, And in the backdrop, we have a UAW strike. How much are you watching that, and how much does it concern you and the administration that this progress we're making, if this strike goes on too long, it could really put us in a tough spot?
I think what's happening in the automotive sector is reflective of the anxiety around what this electric vehicle transition looks like. So those workers out there are fighting for fair wages because they want to make sure that we can build the next middle class with this EV transition. You know, the governor was clear that a long strike would be a concern for Michigan's economy, and of course I share that. But I think the fight for fair wages is a very important one.
All right. Anything you want to telegraph for the future that's coming down the pipe that we haven't talked about?
Sure. Well, since you mentioned the future, we are very excited about a few upcoming opportunities that Michigan is fighting hard for. So, you know, when we talk about the transition to zero carbon transportation, hydrogen, clean hydrogen can be part of that, and Michigan is looking to win clean hydrogen investments from the Department of Energy, and that would help us decarbonize our heavy trucking sector and also potentially our industrial sector. And then we had 5 applications come in from across the state for what's called regional innovation and technology hubs, and those are consortia of like universities, businesses, governments that are really designed to help incubate new industries that can help us drive exponential economic growth in the future. So in the automotive space, for example, growing the software industry in Michigan, because today the software in a vehicle represents almost half of its value. And so Michigan needs to capture a significant portion of that if we're going to continue to be a leader in the automotive sector.
All right, Zach Kolodin, thank you so much for coming in, sharing all this very important information with our viewing public, and we'll get you back.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
All right, it's
That's
our
great.
pleasure. And when we come back, we'll have a conversation with John E. Johnson Jr. He heads up the Michigan Civil Rights Department. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Spotlight. Talking now to John E. Johnson Jr., Attorney John Johnson. He is also the Executive Director of the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. And welcome back to Spotlight. You're no stranger to this program.
Thank you, Chuck, and thanks for being here, and appreciate the time you've given us to talk about the Department of Civil Rights.
Well, we're glad to do so. You just got a big budget increase. How so? Tell me what it was, and then tell me what it is now.
Right. Well, what it was about $14.9 million, and it's been that way for several years. That's state money, general fund money. We also have a couple of federal contracts which bring in about $1.5 million more, but basically about $15 million in general fund money. This year, starting fiscal year 24, October 1st, thanks to the governor and the legislature, we'll enjoy an increase of $8.8 million in ongoing money, and then some additional money for one-time money. So a total of $13.5 million we'll get in fiscal year 24 to expand, well, actually not to expand some of our services, but really to supplement the work that's being done in the main area of our work, which is enforcement.
Why was the increase needed? Was that because the number of complaints and the number of investigations that you have to do has increased significantly as well?
Yes, that's one reason. But the main reason is because we've been underfunded for years. We're the smallest department in the state, still are, even with this increase, with the smallest amount of employees, but yet mandated to take in complaints from across the state.
And complaints have not been going down.
Absolutely not. We saw some diminution during the pandemic.
Well, that's because nobody could go anywhere.
Right.
Once they got back out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But certainly we've implemented online intake, virtual intake. So now we've seen an increase. For instance, just with the LGBTQ community, we've seen an increase of over 52% in complaints that were filed pre-pandemic in 2019 versus what we're seeing now in 2023. So we do see an increase in complaints. Because we have more of a presence now, we've done a lot during the past 2 years to get back on the radar. And because of that, our contacts have increased. We have an intake staff that receives phone calls from across the state. At one point, when I came on board about 2 years ago, I started on June 1st, 2021. We were getting maybe 500 calls a month. That's increased to 650.
Wow.
Again, people are back in the flow. They're becoming more aware that we exist, that their civil rights may have been violated, so they're contacting us. And then certainly we know that there's been some amendments to the Elliot-Larsen Civil Rights Act over the past few months by this legislature. They've amended it to include sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. They've codified that. Now the commission itself, the Michigan Civil Rights Commission, which, the department is the operating arm of the commission. The commission is an 8-member body appointed by the governor. And back in 2018, and they have the right to take the Elliot-Larsen Act, look at it, and interpret what they believe it means. And they, in 2018, said that they thought the Elliot-Larsen Act covered sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. And we began to take cases because of that. That was challenged in court. Ultimately, the Michigan Supreme Court agreed with our commission, and under now case law, the Elliot-Larsen Act does cover those 3 areas. Now, the legislature took the additional step this year to make sure it was codified by adding it to the act itself. So once the legislature recesses and there's a 90-day period, those amendments will take effect. The old rules in which we operated under, and we do administrative law, it's an administrative law process, which means that it doesn't go before the judge, it goes before an administrative law judge. And there's hearings before this ALJ. Our rules required them, people, when they filed a complaint, to first have it notarized before they sent to us. We took that rule away a few months ago because there was a barrier. We saw that people obviously sometimes didn't even know where to go to a notary. Maybe couldn't even afford to pay for a notary.
So now that's a step that's been eliminated.
And now it's resulted in more complaints too.
Okay, all right, we need to sneak a little pause for the calls in here. We'll come right back, and we want to talk a little bit about, with this increase in money, what kind of plans you have for that. And we'll get into talk a little bit about voting rights.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. Attorney Johnson, you said at the top of the show, increase in money. You gave us a good picture of that. What do you want to do with extra money? What would it enable you to do that perhaps you're not doing now?
All right. Well, the bulk of it, Chuck, will go towards our enforcement division. So we'll bulk up our teams to tackle some of the cases that have been hanging around for quite a while. That's our mission, enforcement. The other one is education. So we'll use some of it in order to beef up our community engagement and education division. We're going to be establishing an office up in the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
So that would include some of our enforcement.
Have you ever had one in the Upper Peninsula?
Yes. Years ago. We had 9 offices at one time. Now we're down to 3.
Okay.
Detroit, Lansing, and Grand Rapids.
But you're trying to reestablish
exactly
one in
that.
the UP.
Especially because it's so obviously so far away, and we want to make sure that our presence is known up there. So we're working with state agencies in order to lease some space in order to open an enforcement office and do some community engagement work up there.
Hate crimes, are they increasing, decreasing?
Increasing. And now we don't enforce those laws. That's done by the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney. But we do have a hate bias campaign in which we do reach out. We had a conference back in September, and in which we talk about a response to hate, which is always love. How to react to hate in your neighborhood, how to report it. So we are engaged in that aspect, but it is increasing. It's increasing among, of course, the LGBTQ community. Race has always been in that area in terms of hate crimes.
If people feel they've been discriminated against in one way, form, or another, what should they do?
Well, certainly they can always contact our office and file a complaint, and we're online. If you just Google Michigan Department of Civil Rights, it'll take you right to our website, and on there you can file an online complaint. We are a civil rights law enforcement agency. We're not advocates.
Right.
We're neutral. So when we receive a complaint, we react just as the police do. We take it, we investigate it, then if we find that there's discrimination, then our lawyers take it from there.
Okay. Voting rights. We are coming into a big presidential year next year. How people can vote, if they can vote, do they feel as though they're having access to voting with the passage of the voting rights bill? Where are we at now, and what are you optimistic or worried about?
Right. Well, Michigan has gone from worst to first now in terms of their laws or legislation in terms around voting. We now have early voting, we have no excuse absentee voting, but we have launched a voting rights project. Voting rights is a priority of the Michigan Civil Rights Commission. So we've set aside about $300,000 to do a voting rights campaign, and we're engaged in it now. We did some work for the primary. We'll do a little bit more for the general election in November. Next year, though, we'll have a full-scale voting rights campaign, and that because it's not only race, but it's also people with disabilities who need to have access to the ballot.
Transportation.
Yeah, well, people with limited English proficiencies, and we have to make sure that the ballots are printed in the languages in which the folks in that area use. We have to make sure that, again, folks who are disabled have access to the ballot in terms of, yes, transportation, or making sure that the ballot, the building itself is accessible for persons with disabilities. So we want to make sure people know what their rights are, and we'll be engaged in a voting rights project campaign over the next 14 months or so.
All right. John E. Johnson, appreciate you coming in, bringing us up to date on all the things that you're working on at the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you for having us, Chuck. We really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Right. And I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the spotlight. We hope you have a great week.